Texas. This is a visit with Nana and Papa. I am Nana.
Obviously, I'm Papa. This is Valerie. I'm Jim.
Anyway, we have not been here for quite some time. Partly health reasons, partly, I guess, mental health reasons. I watch podcasts to get away from the world that we're living in at the moment, to think about other things. I'm going to try really hard to keep this light and joyful and not, okay, maybe a little funny, but not, anyway. There's a lot to, anything you want to update them on?
Thank you to all the people who sent me birthday wishes. I appreciate it very much. Thank you. Yesterday we went out for our birth-anniversary dinner, and we went someplace we normally don't go and probably won't go back because it was a rather.
It wasn't a horrible meal.
It wasn't a horrible meal, but it wasn't worth while. The cake, the chocolate cake at the end with the chocolate mousse and the chocolate ganache and the chocolate chips. I'm going to tell you right now.
He might stop there and get that again.
Probably my favorite chocolate cake I've had in quite some time, but the way my feet are just smoking me right this second.
Really bad decision?
I don't know. No. That cake was good enough that I'm tolerating my toes and not bitching about the fact that the cake caused my feet to be inflamed.
Well, we'll have to see if we can find a way to make the cake without all the badness.
First time in 20 years I got to have barbecued baby back ribs, and it did not make me sick for 3 days. Yay!
So, to update you, Jim's diet is very modified to try to help with his neuropathy, and I have been on a very restricted diet trying to reverse the effects of all the weight gain and to lose weight.
And to reduce your cholesterol. And pre-diabetic.
Yes, but the cholesterol and the pre-diabetes are totally due to the excess weight. So trying to reduce the excess weight to resolve those things.
Phenomenal job. Well, how many pounds have you lost in the last 2 weeks, puppies? 20, 30?
20, no, a little more than 20.
So,
but still.
Really good. She's done very good.
It's been about 3 weeks. But anyway, his birthday, my birthday, and our anniversary in between all happened within 8 days.
My birthday is April 9th, our anniversary is April 12th, and her birthday is April 16th. So, boom, in that 1 week span, we have birthday, anniversary, birthday. So therefore, we celebrate our birth-anniversary on our anniversary date. So, and we get it all knocked out at one time.
Do it all in one day. And because we've both been on very restrictive diets, and because really haven't felt like doing anything, like just anyway, we decided that we should treat ourselves and just go have a day and we eat whatever it is we want and suffer the consequences.
And I am.
And it's amazing because even though I had foods that I can't have on my restrictive diet, they weren't that damn good. Like, I know that sounds weird, but you go to a restaurant, some restaurants give you bread or rolls or whatever before the meal, and this restaurant did, and they were lackluster at best.
No, they weren't that bad, but I'm right there with you. It no longer has the appeal that it used to. It doesn't taste as good.
I'm just saying, if that bread had been a bread where, if I had tasted that bread and went, oh my God, this is so good, then maybe I would have, I just felt like, I don't know if it's that the bread wasn't, you know what I mean, wasn't that stellar, or if I just don't really care to have bread, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If bread's not that big a deal anymore. But it just did not, for something where you know that you're sabotaging your diet, and so it really needs to be, it can't be at this level, it needs to be, you know.
It can't be sabotaging all your hard work for a McDonald's double cheeseburger.
And so for me, the bread was not bad bread. There was nothing wrong with it, but it wasn't remarkable. It wasn't something I would remember. And the steak that I had, it was not cooked the way I ordered it.
It was cooked horrible. Okay, she asked for a medium steak.
Not medium rare, not medium well, medium.
She got all over the place. The outside's medium well, the inside's rare, and somewhere from the middle to the outside is every range in between. Now me, I would make a perfectly good wolf. I would just chase a cow and take it off the hoof while I'm running. I don't mind a bloody steak. Her grandfather could not stand, he'd almost throw up watching me eat a steak because he liked boot leather, I like steak.
Anyway, I'm just saying that it
went from
steak,
boot leather to steak easily.
I was disappointed with my steak. Now, was it was it nasty tasting? No. I did have to use A1 in order to eat it.
That's sad.
But it wasn't like disgustingly nasty, but it was, hey, this is supposed to be a celebration, this is supposed to be our treat. I wanted it to be here, and our experience was here. So, but I'm glad we did. We had a very lovely time being with each other. We drove to a location we needed to find, which is a whole nother update.
Yeah, but see, that reminds me, it wasn't that good. I took my mom and dad out for their 40th wedding anniversary. And we went to Applebee's. And because I don't give two shits about anybody's opinion, my dad being Baptist preacher or not, I ordered a beer. Because at the time I drank beer. And I ordered a Killian's Red, which is a bitter red beer. It's an acquired taste. I had acquired. My dad had not. And my dad made my mom almost have a heart attack and fall out of her chair because he's watching me drink my beer and he says, you know, it's been 40 years since I've had a taste of beer. Let me taste your beer. My mom about fell out. She said, huh? You sure? He said, yeah. So I handed him my beer. He takes it up there. That tastes like somebody already drank it. And I said, did you miss it? He says, no. I said, good. Now, if I'd been drinking a beautiful nut brown amber ale, he'd have gone, oh, if I'd have had a Smittix, that man'd be right back at it. He'd be drinking again.
Because I'm telling you, no matter what I'm telling you right now, there's not any kind of beer, any flavor of beer that passed this lips that I'm okay with. When I was young and stupid, and if y'all were never young and stupid, more power to you, but when I was young and stupid, for those that remember Boone's Farm, I had to
drink before Friday.
I had to drink enough Boone's Farm to numb my tongue to not be able to taste beer to have beer.
But see, my dad was not a beer hater.
No,
he was a beer drinker in his younger days.
But that was years before. That doesn't mean that he likes beer still. Do you know what I mean? Doesn't mean
well,
his taste
I know he didn't like
still.
beer then because what he got was a Killian's Red, and it's a pucker up bitter beer.
Anyway, I'm just saying that you don't know if it could have been the same result.
I don't think so. If I'd been drinking a Smittix, he probably would have been smacking his lips, going, "Oh man, I missed that." Because if you haven't ever had a Smittix, it's spelled Smithwick's. It's an Irish amber ale. Go to an Irish pub and you'll get a good Smittix. Buy it in the bottle and you will get piss Smittix because the Irish hate the English and all of the export beer goes through England. And the Irish automatically assume that if they're bottling it, it's going to England. And therefore they pee in the beer. They'll tell you that at the brewery. Don't buy the export beer. We pee in it. And the reason they pee in it is they hate the English. But if you want to try an absolutely wonderful nut brown ale, Smittix is the way to go. If you want to do an absolutely delicious black and tan, go with a Guinness Stout and a Smittix. And it's not truly a black and tan because the Smittix isn't really that tan, but damn is it good. And you'll have to Google those if you don't know what they are. But if you're beer drinkers, I would encourage you to give a Smittix a chance. Just make sure you get it from an Irish pub so you're getting a good Smittix and enjoy. I don't drink anything anymore, so I'm afraid I probably wouldn't enjoy that either.
Anyway,
but yeah,
I don't know how we ended up on that, but okay.
Because what started off with your experience wasn't what you expected, much like Dad's tasting beer wasn't what he expected. That's how we got there, my lover. Anyway.
So that's the most. Then the other news. I got a job. I haven't started it yet.
You start the week from Friday, or Friday?
This coming Friday, I have to do some kind of paperwork. I guess get my ID and all that, you know what I mean, like that kind of stuff. And then the following Monday is the first day of my training classes. And then I have training, I think, for 3 weeks. And then 1 week of nesting, and then I'm on my own. And,
unfortunately, it is 25 miles away, so she will be leaving me all by my little old lonesome. And it's going to be tough on both of us because we've spent, the last 3-4 years?
No, it's been since the first day of COVID.
Right, yeah. 6 years now.
Yeah.
Which, well, no, 2020. 5 years.
5 years.
But we've spent the last 5 years being able to walk over and kiss my wife anytime I wanted to. Being able to reach over and stroke her hair and say, "Oh, you are so beautiful." And she give me a kiss. And now she's going to be working 25 miles away, and my lips don't go that far. So, that will be taking some getting used to. I'm not going to be digging this, but she's happy, and therefore I'm happy.
And to be having a job, so that
takes some of the
stress off.
Anything that really moves stress. Oh, I am sitting here rubbing my feet because they hurt, but check this out.
You haven't even got to.
I don't care. I'm showing them off.
The right way.
That's it, the right way. See this? It wasn't supposed to be a birthday present, but she finished it in time for my birthday, so they're my birthday socks. But my baby made me socks, and check it out. They fit perfect. Pretty freaking awesome, huh? I'm happy with it. And she currently making me another pair, but that's not what she's working on right now. She's working on some kind of crochet bullshit.
That's just because I'm doing something while you're updating. Do you have any books or movies?
Okay.
Or?
The boys are the ones that turned us on to the books, right? You got that from Needles at the Ready?
Needles at the Ready.
I don't know why everybody calls them the boys. They're adults. They're men. But everybody calls them the boys that needle at the ready. I'm not calling you boys, guys. I know you're men. But Needles at the Ready told us about the 13th Paladin. And then Valerie read that 13th Paladin. And she's halfway through, and I've been reading other books. And I finished the other book. She says, "You need to read this." So I thought, okay, well, I'm done with my other current reads. I guess I will read this. Which meant that we had to extend our Amazon Kindle Unlimited, but that's okay. She has finished the 13-book series, and I am on book 12.
Yeah, just barely getting into it.
I'm just starting book 12. We have different interpretations of different characters. She likes some more than I do. I like some more than she does. Sometimes the characters that she thinks are great, I find tolerable. But we both enjoyed the story, and she is patiently waiting for me to finish.
He asks me all
so
the
we
time.
can talk about the story.
He asks me spoilers. I mean, like hard spoilers. Does this person survive? Does it? I'm like, no. And I said, all I'm going to tell you is not everybody survives. because not everybody survives. It's war. War, things happen, people die. But anyway, without giving anything away, great series, strongly recommend. The only thing in the series that I really did not care for was the way they ended the series. And that's just a personal opinion. I kind of want to know how Ray feels, but I don't know that Ray's finished it yet. I'm tempted to message him and say, hey, have you finished the last book yet? But yeah, really, if you like fantasy, there is a bit of,
Coffee.
that's not what's in it, it's coffee, but yes, there is a little tiny bit of romance, if you could call it that, in the series.
Yeah.
That's why I said by a little tiny bit, if you could call it that. But it is not a romance novel. It can't even be, it's not in that realm. It's absolutely perfectly good for young adults.
I believe it is young adult fiction.
You could read it to even elementary kids. I don't think there's anything, there may be more violence in it than you would want for elementary kids, but there's nothing. I
don't know. I'm thinking maybe junior high school might be okay.
I just don't think of any of the stuff isn't something kids shouldn't know. Do you know what I mean?
The 11th book, the Cutthroat Island, where they're with all the vilest scum of the earth. I don't know if I want my kids reading that.
I don't mean reading it. I mean reading it to them. Reading these to your kids and then discussing them, because the truth is there are people out there that are violent and that are mean and that are, you know what I mean, like horrible, and I don't think it's bad for kids to know that bad stuff happens and there's bad people in the world. You don't have to.
I'd still wait for a little older myself.
But I still really, really, really good. Enjoyed every bit of it, except for just the last chapter did not make me the happiest.
I don't think we've actually been watching a whole lot of TV with the reading.
We haven't watched because we've both been reading. I have been watching podcasts because there's certain podcasts that it doesn't matter unless I'm physically not home. If Michael from Piece for Peace puts a podcast out, even if I'm watching something else, I'm like, all right, can we turn this off and then turn this on? We
were on a Zoom with Michael earlier today, so, you know.
Yeah, we were. She
didn't even do her own Zoom today so she could do the Zoom with Michael.
But I let everybody know, and they had every opportunity to reach out to Michael so they could attend the Zoom too, so. Anyway, I had the best time. It was perfect. It was just what I needed. It was very uplifting, and I laughed, and other people laughed. It was just really good. But I never miss Michael. I don't miss Needles at the Ready. I don't miss Carrie from Creative Obsession. I don't miss Fiber Hustle. And I don't miss Tania with the Breakfast Crew.
Yep.
I never miss her. Hello, this is Editing Valerie. I totally forgot. I know there's a ton more, but I totally forgot to talk about Chavez and Aquila, who I feel are my personal friends, and I never miss them either. Anyway, thanks, bye. And I really like the Finnish knitting stories, and I'll miss it sometimes, but Jem knows when I put on I can't think of her name, but she's a Danish knitter, and he goes, all she has to do is start talking and he knows.
My Dutchy English. It's a Sarah. It's another Sarah.
Yeah, it's a Sarah podcast. So I watch that quite frequently, and Korea I watch quite regular, like Oh, and Happy Little Yarn. I never miss Happy Little Yarn. That's Amy. She's from Georgia, Leesburg, Georgia, to be exact.
She's been binge watching Knitters League.
Yeah, Knitters League. Because I like that Knitters League talks about the sweaters that they make and what yarn they used and how it fits. And okay, maybe not the whole here's a makeup recommendation and stuff like that, but
I don't notice that they do a whole lot of makeup.
that's gonna be picked up. Oh, you know what? We gotta start over.
Why?
Cause I didn't turn it.
It's got a red light.
Oh, okay, we do. Maybe you'll cut
blue
that
light.
out.
It's on.
Okay.
I don't know if it's going to go in there or not. It's pretty quiet, man. I'll move it over here.
Can
Check
have-
this out. This is one of my things from Amazon Vine. It's actually one of the good things from Amazon Vine. Nice, powerful little fan. And
Okay, let's have a conversation really quick. If you don't know what Amazon Vine is, it's some kind of program where you can receive items and you can do reviews on those items, and then you can keep the items. But I want to strongly recommend, unless you have a CPA that you can go talk to about doing your own, being your own business and paying your own taxes, they pay you in an I-9. No, not an I-9. You have to give them anyway. I can't remember.
they
what it's
consider
called.
you to be a contract employee and that you are receiving goods in lieu of payment. So you wind up paying about 30% tax because you have to pay your own income tax, you have to pay your own Social Security tax, plus you have to pay the employer's portion of both of those.
Correct.
And you have to pay your
And your
federal
own
unemployment.
federal unemployment and your own
So
state.
it winds up that you are getting these items for about 30% of their what they consider to be retail value.
Correct.
But you have to be very careful because what they consider to be retail value and what is going to be retail value are very different characters sometimes. So you look at an item they offer you and say, huh, and then you Google that item and you see how much that item or comparable items are costing anywhere else besides Amazon, and then you go, wow, this is twice as expensive as it is to buy it at Walmart. So no, I don't need to try this out for them and then pay.
So what I'm suggesting to you is that unless you need the items,
But it's by invitation only. So
I know, but I'm just saying, just know that you are going to be paying for those items. You may not pay full price, but due to the fact that you have to pay taxes on every dime they claim they sent you, you're going to be coming out of pocket for those products.
So, and you can't resell them for 6 months after you get them. That's part of the rules. But Amazon Vine is a buy invite only. If you've been doing reviews on Amazon and people are following your reviews, Amazon will reach out to you and say, hey, people like your reviews. Would you like to receive free products for you to review?
Just
and
buyer beware.
It's not free.
Yeah, buyer
it's
beware.
not free.
Anyway,
But we haven't been to a theater movie. I think the last movie we actually watched was Wicked, isn't it? Isn't that the last movie we actually watched as a
Wicked.
movie? We were watching Reacher. We have not finished Reacher. When I finish reading these books, we'll probably finish Reacher. We have not finished Equalizer.
Oh. I do like Equalizer, but I like her a lot. I do plan on watching G20. I know that Amazon is problematic at best, but I am a ride or die fan of Viola Davis. And if that woman sent a message and said, hey, I need help, whatever, if it was in my power, I would help her. I just think she's an amazing human. But anyway, I don't have any more books or movies.
We've been participating in the Walmart boycott, even though we have a Walmart thing that gets us free grocery delivery, saves us on gas and all kinds of shit. For the week, we are not buying anything at all. But that's also where we get our drinking water. We used to get our drinking water from Twice the Ice, and in Austin, it was awesome, excellent water. And Killeen, we call it pond water. It's got a funky taste to it.
It's good for watering the plants.
It's not good. It's if you already have shitty coffee that you're trying to use it up with this, because it's not going to make it taste any better. But the coffee's not going to make the water taste any worse. But if you're just drinking a bottle of water, it's pretty nasty.
It's rough.
But we've been getting our water at Walmart, even though it's almost twice as much as Twice the Ice. But because we're boycotting Walmart, we had to get our water at HEB. And HEB is over twice the price of Walmart. And
I don't care.
It's not any better water, but it's not Walmart. So,
by the way, HEB is a grocery chain here in Texas. It also exists in Mexico, just on the very northern part near Texas.
It stands for 8 Henry E. Banks grocery store. It was started by his mother 120 years ago. In the basement of their house.
It doesn't. If you're interested, look up HEB. But for grocery stores, it's my favorite that I've ever experienced. I do think that they kind of lead the way, but
their employees wear shirts that say, "Be the change you want to see."
Yeah, and they do seem to treat their employees way better than others. So I'm okay when we need stuff to go there, but anyway. I have a lot to go through yarn-wise, and Jim's probably going to stay sitting here, but he's probably going to read his book. So I'm going to move the camera a little bit to be more focused so it can see the yarn, see the stuff I'm showing you. So probably pause it, readjust, but he will still probably be sitting here.
I'll still be right here.
But
occasionally throwing in a comment from the sidelines.
So I'm just letting you know.
I shared my knitting thing because I got taught.
Okay, here I am back again. I just wanted to let you know that it's really disconnected and all over the place and my own shit show. But the if you need further details about the patterns that are about to be mentioned, at the end I go into them, so if you just want to fast forward to the end, that's fine. If you have questions, because I know I didn't say everything I'm supposed to, just ask. And if there's a specific pattern that you would really like details, let me know and I'll just do a single video about that pattern. Thanks. Bye. Okay, so it's now a little bit more me. Oh, you guys can see my project bag. Hold on, let me turn it slightly. There's where all my project bags stand. It's a hat rack. It's perfect.
It's a coat rack.
Yeah, coat rack.
Coat tree.
It's so nice. So he was talking about what I was working on. This is a shawl by TL Yarn Crafts. No, you can buy it in the TL Yarn Crafts store, but it's by her Tony Lipsy's mother Gwen, by Gwen Design. I am using a much smaller gauge because I like the fabric better, and so and the size of it is really small right now. So I'm gonna do, I've been thinking hard about what I want to do, and I'm gonna go ahead and do another repeat of this section before I do the third section. But the yarn I'm using, this yarn here is Barnyard Knits in the colorway African Violet. And then this purple yarn I honestly don't remember because it's some leftover skein. Probably ND knits, but I'm not certain. And then the green I know for certain is moss colorway, and it is from Ted Knits UK. And I don't crochet every day, it just depends on what my hands can handle. So this is going to be very, very slow growing, but I do love it, and it's an amazing pattern. So if you get a chance, I also have started using this color, which is the section I'm doing right now. And the reason being is I don't have enough of this to be the main color throughout the entire shawl. So I figured that adding this color, so it'll have, this is some sections and this is some sections, and then end in this section. And then I also, because I have the purple and the moss, I'm gonna use this darker green, which you may have thought the other green was super, actually this is the darker green. So this is not moss. This is Deciduous by Stranded Dye Works, who no longer dyes. This is the moss, so I will be using this moss in the next dark solid section. And then so that's that. I have a lot of whips, and the only reason I wanted to talk about that one real quick is because of where we're at. I am gonna quickly go through a few things that I am fixing or plan on fixing. This was the top part of the sweater, and this was the bottom part of the sweater. And when I pulled this out and I recognized that the sweater is this wide, I have decided I don't need that many stitches to be anywhere on my body. So I am going to just frog this sweater and remake it using a different pattern. I don't know. I love the yarn. It's my favorite brown, period. Absolutely love this brown. This brown is Kava, and Kava is by Urban Girl Yarns, and it is the best hand-dyed brown in my opinion. It has so many different layers of brown, and I love it. So I ripped out a lace section because I hated wearing it with a bra, because the lace section, the holes were literally this big, and so then you have your bra strap showing, and I didn't care for that look, and I don't really want to go braless in public. They're not little enough to be braless in public. Also, I had finished this sweater and worn it more than once, but the weight of the sweater is significant. It is Holzgarn Super Soft held double. So it is a DK weight sweater with color work all the way through it. So it really needed length. And so I cut off the hem and I have it ready to knit back up. However, I didn't have any more of the white yarn to be able to continue knitting it, so I ordered white yarn, and it is on its way in to me. When it gets here, I'll be able to finish fixing that. I ripped it out before I remembered that I had run out of white, which is probably why I stopped where I did. Another now we go back to what, see, we're all over. This is not in any order. This is, I have so much stuff to show you that it's just going to be here, there, and everywhere. I had made this ranunculus, I don't know, a year ago, maybe 2. The yarn I used is a boucle that I hand dyed, and then it's held with a mohair that came from Leading Men Fiber Arts in my favorite color that they ever have done, which is kind of a big dill. And so the combination was just beautiful. I ran out of yarn from what I dyed and from the mohair, so I just stopped. Like, I stopped the sleeves, and so the sleeves came to like right here on both arms, you know, like right here. And the neck was fine, but it was pretty wide, right? And the sweater, because it was a DK weight boucle and with mohair, is really warm. So I had this really warm sweater that kept part of my arm just completely exposed to the cold and kept my neck way wide open. So I found some of this in my DK scraps, and I have no idea what the colorway is. I think, and this is not certain, maybe Madeline Tosh, but I don't know. It's definitely a variegated yarn, and it's definitely DK, but what manufacturer, what color, I have no idea, because it's from deep, deep, deep stash. And it was a leftover. And anyway, so I added really long ribbing, and I added the neckband, and I would put it on for you, but it's like 80 degrees in this apartment right now, and this sweater and 80 degrees are not conducive. So this was a long since finished object, but I was able to modify it to make it an even better finished object. So there's that. I think that's it for fixes. You know, going back and looking. I'm sure that there will be more coming. It's before I talk about this, I want to talk about fails, because I have a few. So this was supposed to be a melting marrow shawl or something. I think that's what it's called, by Stephen West. It's supposed to be like a half pie shawl, so it's supposed to be like straight here and not this rippled whatever. And I followed the instructions, but I think it's because I am a tighter knitter, number one, and I think it's because my I-cord edges are tighter than what Stevens are. Maybe I need to be like increasing those, like do 2 I-cords for each row instead of 1. I don't know. But the I-cord is tight, like it's not stretchy at all. And the fabric lays perfectly flat, and it looks like a starship. Does that not freaking remind you of the Millennium Falcon? Because that's what I see when I look at it. Anyway, so I'm gonna frog it. I've already started frogging it. All of the yarn was scraps. So what I think I might do, I don't know what amounts of yarn I have, or if I can even make it happen. Maybe I do a stripey whatever. But I think I'm going to take the same leftovers and try to do a Vertices Unite. I don't know though. But right now I'm disappointed, frustrated, irritated. I may just, instead of that, I may just do a rectangular shawl, and Jim wants a wrap or a shawl for him in shades of blue that he can just wrap, but he wants it to be just a wrap, nothing fancy, but just something to put over his shoulders in the house when it gets a little cool, or if the air's on, or if we open the windows at night to cool off the apartment, and in the morning he gets up and it's 50, 60 degrees so that it can deal with the 90 in the day. It's not anything I need to finish anytime soon because the nights are soon going to be above 80, so he won't need it, but it is something I want to make. If you have like a really good pattern that can be fingering held double, feel free, pop it in the comments. I would love to know. Anyway, so that was a fail. I also, I don't know if I brought it out or not. Let me look in the array of bags, because we have some bags. We have a lot of bags here. So you saw the socks that I finished that are on his feet. What you didn't see is the array of socks that I tried making using this yarn. And this is a bulky Aran weight yarn called Dovestone, actually it's not bulky, it's chunky. Dovestone Natural Chunky, 100% British wool, spun in Yorkshire. And it's a single, which I would not normally make socks out of a single because they're not strong enough. But I thought for slipper socks, something you're putting on just to keep your feet warm, it might be okay. It was an epic fit. It did not work. So those socks got stopped. I can't just stopped. And then I knit the gray socks and dark gray. And in knitting those socks, I did cuff down, and then I did a heel flap and gusset, but I did an eye of partridge heel, and then and I did that on both feet, but for the toe I did one in a standard, just decrease on the sides toe, and then the other toe I did an umbrella toe because I wanted to see which was which was more comfortable. The one that has the umbrella toe, I did a 44 stitch, these are all worsted weight, 44 stitch ribbing on the size 5 needle, which is the same as the sock, and then I increased the 4 stitches to bring it to 48 to make the sock. And then on the second sock I cast on 48, but I did it on a US 3 and then did the ribbing on a US 3 and then changed to the US 5 and finished the sock. And on that one I used just the standard decrease for the toe. And then and both fit him, but he does prefer the standard toe, not the umbrella toe, and he prefers the US 3 cuff. And so I had this yarn and the other dark gray socks are from my last job, and the yarn is Patons Classic Worsted, which is not a sock yarn but perfect for slipper socks. And then on the last one, I thought, you know, it might be fun to have some difference because all the same color. What if I did a different color heel and toe? And so, and then whatever's left from here could be used in a heel or toe in a different sock. So these are scraps that I had pulled out for the shawl, which means it would match the shawl too, so that's kind of cool. And with these, I did 2 different heels. So this is, you can use this pattern for an afterthought heel, but what I did was I at the beginning of the round, I cast on this side stitches for the heel. No, it would have been on the front. So on this side. So on this side, I just knit across with the heel yarn, and then when I got to the second side, I cast on over the barber cord the 24 stitches that I need for the rest of the heel, and then leaving the barber cord in place, I knit the heel, and then I put the needle back into where the barber cord is and continued to knit the sock. And it worked, and he seems to like the heel, but we don't know until he actually wears them. This I think is cleaner. I'm just going to show you. See how clean and neat that heel is? I think it's nice. And the thing about this is that sometimes what I hate the most about the afterthought heels is just having to get your needles in through the stitches. Cutting this strand of yarn, easy peasy, no problem. But getting the needles into the stitches where I need to have them, not my favorite. So this worked really well, although it was a little bit fiddly that first row. And then this one, I did a semi-typical short row heel. So I knit the sock down to the heel portion, and then leaving the front side, this side of the stitches on hold, across here, I just started doing short rows to get it tiny, tiny, tiny. And then I did 2 rows, well, I knit across this way and resolved and came back and resolved. And then I did it again, only this time I did short to long, picking them up. Now you can do it where you don't add the resolve row, but if you don't add the resolve row, then you end up with like 3 stitches or 3 loops for each stitch, which I have found has made this edge even weirder. However, when I compare them, this heel looks much, let me get them where they actually can be side by side. This heel looks much cleaner, although it's more angular. It just, I think it looks cleaner. This one looks shorter, like not as deep of a heel, and it's much wonkier. Like if I just hold them up from the side, if you were folding these down, this one wants to literally lay skinny and flat. I don't know if you can see that, but it wants to lay flat against the sock, right? It just wants to be nice and flat. And this one puffs out and around and like doesn't, like, see how that's like, it's just wonky. It's a wonky donkey heel. So, however, this one was easier to knit, but I like the look of this one better. But I'm going to judge it based on how they feel on his feet and compared to the others. So if on his feet, because his feet are his source of pain, if the heel flap and gusset are his favorite to wear or most comfortable, then we'll go back to the heel flap and gusset. My next pair that I'm going to do, I have one more skein of this yarn in a baby blue, so I'm going to use it for that purpose. But, and I might use similar leftovers for the heels and you know what I mean, little scraps from that straw. But I'm gonna do that one heel flap and gusset toe up. So we shall see. That's where I'm at. I don't have much on the foot, like just barely started on the foot. But I started these Friday. The first pair I did in a weekend. Like I cast on Friday and I was done by Sunday morning. These not so much because something else is like bringing me joy, so it's getting more attention. And he has a pair on his feet, so it's not like it's urgent that he has these right away. But I do work on them regularly. In the last month, the project that has gotten the most knitting done on it is truly this one. It is the Trove sweater. I don't remember the designer's name, but I will, and it's in a book, either Pom Pom or Lina, I don't remember. I have a digital copy of the book. I've had the digital copy of the book. I want to say it's the same Pom Pom that had the kindness shawl or kinship shawl or whatever by Stephen West, but I could be wrong. But I definitely already had it in my library as a digital copy. I knit it, blocked it. The only thing I haven't done is the neckband, and I was holding off because I know that if I add ribbing to this ribbing is going to be like up into my neck because there's very little room. It's already like, let me move this. This is a V-neck, so not quite. It's already like that right now. So I think what I'm going to do is just add a crochet edge. Just going to crochet an edge in the original yarn and call it good. Just a crochet border, single crochet, maybe even a crab stitch border. Then I am going to pick up, which I have started picking up just barely. The needles are on there. I do have a helpful hint. If you, and I don't have one handy. I did, but I don't. Give me 1 second. If you have chow goose or similar, I think they make them now by Knitter's Pride too. But this is a Tunisian crochet hook tip that can go onto your chow goo needles, and I use this to pick up my stitches so that I just could go in and grab a loop and leave it on the needle. Go in, grab a loop, and leave it on the needle or on the hook. And then when I got all the way around and I had all the stitches on the sleeve, now I can just start knitting the sleeve however I want to knit the sleeve. So if you have to pick up stitches for around the neck or around the arm, this is perfect. Anyway, so I'm going to add short sleeves, but I'm going to do them just like a normal cap sleeve. Short rows on the edge and bring it down and then add ribbing, but just like this. It'll be very much like this sleeve. So when I finish these sleeves. Okay, and the yarn I used is almost all post garn. I am using for the main color this yarn. This is the brand. I'm just gonna say caution. I love the yarn. It works up nice. The number 20. It's a Shetland yarn. It's really nice. It feels really scratchy and rough in the ball, but once it's washed, it's comfortable for me. What I what I don't, I just keep seeing advertisements for this brand of yarn, not specifically the number 20, but for the Onling, whatever, Onling on Instagram. But the photos look really like other designers' patterns. Like, and not just their patterns, their photography. And so I find that creepy. Maybe they're not. Maybe the designer used their yarn in the design, so they've been given permission to use their photography for their marketing purposes. I have no idea. But it just feels a little creepy. So, but all of the colors in here, this is Holzgarn Super Soft. Lots and lots, and they come in little cakes like this. I prefer to use them from the outside so they maintain their structure and it's just easier for me. You can get them in those 50-gram cakes, or you can get them in cones, which I have quite a few of. And it's not done, but it's a lot closer than it was. I don't know where I was on this the last time you saw it, but the body is complete. It has a hem at the bottom, and I have started the sleeves. This sweater weighs so much, which will be great when it's cold and Jim needs some warmth to him, but not so great when it's 80 degrees. I did not have a pattern for this sleeve, so everything that's on here is just me winging it. And this, I kind of think I should have put a cable and decreased out, but I'm okay with it. And it's on the same on both sides, but I use the same cables that are in the sweater for the sleeves, so, and it was me doing lots of math and trying to figure it out. This sleeve is sort of started just so that I could get the cables in place. But it is way too hot to even think of having that in my lap right at the moment. Alright, another fail, because, you know, that's me. This is not how this cone used to look. These are both the same color. I cast on for another Brahui and knit, I want to say 3 repeats. Just a guess, I don't know. Anyway, however many repeats it was of the cable. And then I thought, you know what, I should put this on barber cord and I should try it. And it's a bottom up. I'm telling you, Jim and I could probably both have stood in that. He would tell you the same. It was wide. It was so much excess fabric. And
we could have both fit inside of it.
And then it's supposed to be a drop shoulder, but drop shoulders aren't supposed to come over here. They're not supposed to come. Anyway, it was rough. So I ripped it out. I will be recasting it on. However, I realized that I really need to work on things that are in progress before putting this back on the needles. I had cast it on because, to be honest with you, things were too heavy to be in my lap. It's just too hot to have a DK weight sweater sitting in your lap. So those are just not things that are we are not playing that game. So, so this will get cast on. It will be a Brahui. And I don't know if that's how you're supposed to say the name. So I'm just gonna put it in the notes below, but it's by Samba Knits by Beatrice Rubio, and I already have one in my projects And I have this one in my projects. I just haven't updated it to say that it's been frogged and restarted or anything else. But, so that was a fail, but I'm still gonna redo it. I have been, or had been, pulling this out to work on it on a regular basis, but again, it's really warm to be, and this is not DK weight, this is fingering weight, but it's brioche, and for some reason, it's just heavy, but probably because I'm used to using this yarn, which is really lightweight, and this is not as lightweight. This is Upland Fiber Co. in core fingering in the, starts with an M, I think. Oh, what is the name? It's not mineral, I don't think. I can't remember the name of the colorway. I'll put it down below. But I love the color, and it is true to color. So it's a blue, but it's almost like a gray blue, wouldn't you say?
Steel blue.
Steel blue?
Yep.
It's really, really pretty. And so I will keep working on it, but this heat, it's just not getting as much love as it needs to, but it's too hot. Alright. This project I cast on when it was cold, cold, cold outside. And it is the Hoodola. And I know that I cannot get my, I don't really want to, we'll go this way. Hold on. I'm going to go ahead and pull stitches out off the needles because this yarn is really good at staying where it's supposed to stay. So we'll see if we can make this happen. So it's fine, but I need about this many more inches. Well, actually I want it to come up here, so 10 more inches, I don't know. A lot of ribbing more for how it's meant to be. And so I don't know when it will be finished. I'm just hoping I don't run out of yarn. I have one full skein left, and that's it. I don't have any others, and I do have another color though, so if push comes to shove, the bottom ribbing may change color, which when I'm wearing it, I won't be caring what I look like. If money was no object, which is definitely not the case in my world these days, but if money was no object, I would happily trade all of my superwash merino yarn that Jim doesn't want for his own stuff for yarn similar to this. This is ReRum Natura, and the yarn is called Ulysse. I haven't tried the Gilliat. I assume the Gilliat is similar, just thicker. But, yeah, see, they're all back on. Sorry, I had to look at what I was doing to get them all back on the needles, but it knits up nicely. The only thing is that my hands have been having pain for the last few months. Well, my arms more than my hands, but so the cables on the cabled sweater, doing the cable crosses, doing ribbing on relatively small needles for DK or sport held double. It's just it's a lot on my hands, so I work on it a little bit each week, but by a little bit I mean not even a full round, maybe if it's a good day, 2 rounds, and then it gets put away till my hands can handle it again. We talked about that. Oh, this is the last thing I want to talk about because it's the one that's getting the most love. So, when we watch shows, which at the moment Jim can tell you has not been happening, but when we're watching shows, this is what I've been pulling out. This was a test knit for Hinterm Stein, and it's really pretty, and the texture that's on the shoulders and around the neck and around the cuff when you get there is beautiful, and the yarn is lovely, but it's using up way more yarn than I thought it was going to, and so I have this much left of this particular ball, and I have one more caked up, and I'm not even, I mean, there's nothing, it's that many, I mean, it's not even cropped, this, yeah. So, and it needs to have full length sleeves because it's just a sport weight yarn, but this sport weight yarn is knit at such a tight gauge that it's a superwash, and it's I can't even think of what it's called, but the la 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 la, it's in my brain. It's worsted spun, very dense yarn, and it shows the texture very well, but yeah, it's just a really slow go, and I during the test got really frustrated. The armhole is really tight around my arm, and yes, I know I am not a small gal, but I was knitting a size bigger than what my body really is supposed to wear, and the armholes were just really small, and I let the designer know, and the response frustrated me, but anyway, so there's that. I ripped it out, redid it my own way, and it's now working. So we already talked about that. So we are finally to the last project, which is the one I'm most proud of. And you'd think it'd be the trove, but the trove I was just following a pattern and doing what it told me. So the first thing about this next project is the yarn is Bad Frog Yarn Company. The pattern is a heavily modified pattern by Stefanie Japel. The original pattern it only had, see where this ribbing is? It has this ribbing down here, and then you would cast on the stitches for under the arm, and then like it had ribbing, and so there were no sleeves. It was literally a raglan sleeveless tank top. So it had ribbing here and then nothing, and then that's how it worked. And so what I did was I adapted it and added sleeves. So it's not that exciting of a change, except for I was knitting on it and it's so hot. It's a DK weight yarn. It's Texas spring, which is the same as Texas summer. Well, not totally, because we do have cooler nights in the spring. We do not in the summer, but still the heat can get some pretty high heat in at the moment. And so it was getting hard, and I'm like, I need to knit the sleeves. How in the I can't knit these sleeves, and the yarn is so pretty, and it'll be such a pretty sweater when it's all said and done. So I decided to take my 2 cakes that I have for sleeves and cast on the sleeves and knit the sleeves 2 at a time, and use magic loop and do both my sleeves. Add my increases on the rows that I need to add the increases, and just knit my sleeves all the way up to here, which is where the raglan lets off. And once I'm at that point, try it on, make sure they match up, and if they do, I'm gonna graft the sleeves onto this sweater. And so I'm really proud that I get to, these are much lighter, they're not hot, they're not bogging me down with the weight, and letting me continue to work with this beautiful yarn. Now, these 2 skeins, once I cake them up, I don't know if y'all can tell, but I feel like this feels way lighter and this feels a lot darker. But I don't care. They're sleeves. They're gonna not be right next to each other. And anyway, yeah, I'm very, very, very happy. I'm excited for the end result. And I don't know when I'll get the body done, because I'm not working on this when it's hot. So in the mornings, if it's cool, I'll pull it out and knit on it. Or if we're in the car, this is perfect, because I can knit on this with the air conditioning blowing on me, and I'm fine. We have the air conditioning turned on, because you can't live here and not, but we have it set for 78.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't really kick on in our living room until the hallway gets to 78. And because the bedroom, like we open up the windows at night and stuff, sometimes the hallway stays cooler longer, so it can get 80 in here before the air conditioning actually.
It is currently 79.8 and the air conditioning is not on.
So we do use those little fans and blow them on ourselves quite frequently. I have a video, if anybody's interested, on how to use the barber cords for your cast-ons and things that you can use it for. Doing the provisional cast-on with a barber cord, huge. It's literally game-changing for me. Knitting my sleeves 2 at a time, cuff up, instead of from the top down, doing it the other way around. Also, just for the heat of the summer, totally makes me very, very happy. I will put effort into finishing these sleeves, so hopefully next time you see me, the trove will have short sleeves and will be done. I don't know that I'll pick this back up anytime soon. I don't know when I'm gonna frog it. I'm bummed that I even need to frog it. It's gut wrenching, but it is what it is. So,
2 big puppies?
well, okay, so this was nice, and then it had that green lace, and I hated that green lace. So I cut the green lace out, and when I did,
holy shamoly.
and I'm like, well, that's a whole lot of wasted yarn. So, yeah, I'm gonna frog it, but I just haven't gotten to it.
Okay. Be pretty on you when you make a new one.
It is a beautiful color. And it goes with a ton of the clothes that I have. So there's that. I have done a little bit of spinning, but very, very little. I'm really struggling with finding a comfortable place to spin. If I could sit in this chair and spin, I think I would spin a lot more, but it will not adhere to the table that I use. In front of me, the little, what do you call it?
TV tray.
The TV tray that's in front of me, the wheel won't adhere, so it won't stay in place, so it's just not conducive. So I'm going to take a moment. If you're not interested, feel free. I do have a couple of acquisitions. Some of you already saw, but I should talk about my acquisitions.
Your birthday needles?
They're not
Yeah.
here yet, so can't talk about them. They'll be in the next. We have things coming that are not here yet. This yarn is from Harrisville Designs. It is their Shetland cone, which is I think called Highland, in the color Periwinkle, number 24. That color, is it accurate? That's pretty accurate. I did order this since the last time you guys saw us. And this, but I also have, hold on, I need to find my, I don't know, oh, it's in my purse. Never mind, it's too far for me to get it. I might put a picture on the screen of it, but Twice Sheared Sheep has these rulers, and I want to see, maybe I can, oh no, we need a light colored yarn. Let's see, where's my white? I want to show you this because it's bloody brilliant, and it has really been a lifesaver. So you have your yarn and you line up your, oh, that lighting, you line up the stitches so that in the column, all of the columns that are there, only one stitch is in each column. So let me see if I can figure it out on this one, so bear with me. It's definitely not that. Okay, not there, because those are two. So for this particular pattern, it appears to be 7 stitches to 1 inch, because maybe not, but you'll see where you lay your stitches in there to see how many, but you need to make sure that you're finding the one where all of the stitches in the little pattern fit. It's, yeah, and it doesn't mean that you shouldn't do a big swatch or that you shouldn't measure your 4 inches or whatever, but if you've already done your gauge swatch and you want to check your sweater to see if your gauge has changed or whatever, I mean, literally all you have to do is line up the squares and look at your stitches in the square and make sure that this stitch is a full square, this stitch is a full square, this stitch is a full square, and whichever one lines up, then you read the number underneath, and that'll tell you your 1 inch gauge. And to get your 4 inches, you just take the number. Oh, I have a 6 stitch, 1 inch, 6 stitches in 1 inch. 6 times 4 is 24. I have a 24 stitch gauge. All right, I'm on gauge. Or, oh, I was supposed to have a 28 stitch gauge. This isn't it's not how it's supposed to be. I also have the ruler. It's like a stitch marker, but it's a ruler, and it works great for socks. Oh my gosh, it's so good for socks. But you put it at your beginning of round or somewhere wherever you want, and when you, as you're knitting, you can just lay the ruler across the project. And if you like to knit like say a 4-inch cuff, not cuff, but 4 inches from your cuff to your heel, you just set the little thing to 4, and then when you're knitting, when that lines up, when your knitting hits that 4, you know what I mean, when you're right where you need to be, you stop and you start a heel. Or if you're doing toe up, okay, and you're working toe up, you did your toe, you need, for your size, a foot, you need to do 6 inches of a foot before your heel. Then you know, oh, I'm at 6. Or if you're doing a heel flap and gusset and you measure it and you're like, nope, I need to do 4 inches and start my gusset. You measure, set it to 4 inches and you start your gusset. It's just been really nice tool. Like I said, I'll try and put a photo in here. And then I don't think the rest of the things, most of my purchases have been, there haven't been a lot of them, but most of my purchases have been getting things to help me be able to continue to make and not be in pain. And that's been really important to me. I've also been contemplating, and I'm getting more and more serious about the possibility of getting a loom. I know that for me, my personal preference would be to have a knitting machine, so the knitting machine can let me do a different movement while still working on similar projects, because I love the knitting so much. But using a loom is going to use totally different skill set, totally different movements of my arms and my hands, and at the moment the spinning is doing this something in a way that is increasing the pain in my wrists and my hands. Well, my wrist and my arm. Crochet makes it way worse. And, yeah, so I'm still trying to find a way. I want to keep making, and I want to keep using fiber and yarn because they make me so happy. So, just keep thinking of different things I can do. So, I have bamboo, I think it's bamboo double points on the way. Oh, and I don't know if you guys have seen it, but I ordered some Licca shorties, the 3.5 inch. I can't use 5-inch needle tips. They hurt my hands. Haven't been able to ever comfortably. But, so I have the, those wooden tips, and I can use them, and they work. But, oh, do I not like those cables. I got spoiled. So, anyway. I don't know that I have anything else jumping up and down. I can't believe I'm knitting socks again, but I am. They are worth the weight, so there's that. But, they're smaller projects, which means I don't have the weight in my lap, so that's good. So, podcasts. Yes, I've been watching Knitters League, and I went back because I didn't find Knitters League when they first started, so I thought I would watch some of their older podcasts to see how they were. I do like that a lot of them talk about knitting garments, and they show garments that I wasn't aware of, which was really nice. I think I might go back and watch some others that I have been watching for a long time to see their, you know, when they started, what, if there was. I really, really, really miss Dunder Knit. And I wish that I wish that I could be more like that for you guys. And I wasn't today, and I'm really sorry about that. I didn't even tell you the names of the sweaters. I did the Trove, the red sweater. I'll just go through it just in case you have it. And maybe I'll move this to the front. Who knows? This is whole super soft, and it is the yarn, and the pattern is called the Laurel sweater, and it's possibly maybe my favorite colorwork sweater. And if you're new to colorwork, you literally cannot get any better than this pattern. It's just a delight. I did hold Surrey in the beginning, and then I think it was at the end of these sleeves I didn't have any Surrey left, and I really wish that I had knit the whole sweater. And then the same with the body. Like, it started with Surrey, and then when I got to here, this was the last one with Surrey, and this one doesn't have it. And see how this is like not so sharp, and this is just sharp. So I can say without a doubt, don't use a fuzzy yarn for this. Use just the plain yarn. Use it solid. Let it fill in those spaces and become a very nice sharp fabric. Alright, and then the cabled sweater, it was started off of the, I don't even remember, I want to say the Grandma Cardigan by Joji Locateri, maybe Granny Cardigan, but it's not, it's so not the same pattern. I've modified it so much that it's not even recognizable. The purple sweater that I'm doing the sleeves for, well, it's purple and a whole bunch of other colors too, but purple and pink and orange and yellow and brown. Anyway, this is based on the Turtleneck Tube by Stefanie Japel. I don't remember the test knit's name because when I was test knitting, it didn't have a name yet. I told you the name of the Hoodola. That's by Laura Nelkin. This sweater is, again, core fingering in the mineral, I think, colorway. And it is a brioche, for the love of brioche jacket. And the socks for Jim are based on a pattern tutorial by Susan B. Anderson. And the brown sweater that I frogged, I don't remember the pattern name for it, but it's not, I mean, we're ripping it out, so does it matter? This is Samba Knits. I cannot remember the name of the sweater. It normally has a balloon sleeve, and it's a crop. I've made it longer, and I cut off the sleeves and made short sleeves. And I did that also in the last month. This was another one of the fixes where I went, you know what? That sweater is so light, and this is, I have to force myself not to wear this top. Which is another reason why I cast on this yarn to make another top. This is very similar in feel to Whole Super Soft. I don't know how it's gonna wear. I don't know how it's gonna feel. I don't have any of that information. But having another top that is airy and light and just, I want that for this summer. I want as many of these nice and light tops as possible. And so that was the purpose of casting that on. And I may still, I don't know. I just definitely want those. Yeah. So I think that's it. I think that's all I have. I'm really sorry it took so long to get back. If there's any of these sweaters that you want, like, I don't know, a deep dive into, maybe I can try and do that. I'm sure that Jim won't have any problems holding the camera for me while I turn around and show you all the parts of this sweater as I'm wearing it. Because he tends to not be upset over having to watch me model things.
I am in love with you.
I love you.
And that smiling. You are too beautiful.
Anyway, I hope everyone has a lovely, lovely rest of the day and a lovely weekend. And I don't know when we'll be back. My job is gonna take some time getting used to schedules, but maybe it'll help me get back into a schedule and be on a schedule and do things on a schedule. So we'll see. Otherwise, have a great rest of your day and talk to you soon. Bye.